gonna be hard for him to beat Chris Eubank because Chris Eubank is first bigger, he's faster.
Ben's got the ferocity and he's got the art and the ferocity and art and all of that.
I think Conor Benn beats Eubank.
By the way, that was interesting. Eubank Ben, that's a fight you want to see, no?
That is a fight I want to see.
Good fight, isn't it?
For sure, it is a good fight.
Big fight as well, like stadium, packed out.
Are we saying stadium?
I think so. I think
you think it'll do well?
Yeah.
Wembley, Tottenham, Cardiff.
Tottenham.
Tottenham, yeah?
60,000.
That'll work out well.
Yeah, I think Wembley might just be pushing it just a little bit.
I think they can do it.
Only a few certain men can do Wembley.
Boxing's on the big stage.
Agreed.
Look at this.
Agreed.
It's amazing.
You've had a nice little break. I saw you out in Nigeria. Do you feel like re-energized, ready to go again?
You know I do.
I know you do.
You know I do.
Yeah.
But more so after my last fight, I took some time out.
Mm-hmm.
I let my body heal, which I'm still working on now. And I declined some business opportunities so I can focus on the sport, which takes off mental pressure, not just physical stuff. So I let my body heal physically. And then the mental aspect, I've obviously declined some things that are draining mentally. And I went away with the family, which is always good. And we're back again, ready for...
They're making this fight on the second day 170 because they want Conor Benn to have a chance. Without it, Chris will rock him up. Like, Chris will finish him. So Eddie Hearn is good at his job. He protects his fighters. So he thought he needs to do something here so where Conor has a bit of a chance. And that will be to tell Eubank, oh, you're not allowed to be more than 10 pounds on the second day, which is even less than the IBF rules. On the IBF, you can be 172. Yeah. So this is no organisation does this. So obviously it's a tactic of them to try and get that little small advantage on the next day. But listen, Chris agreed to it. For me, I found it weird because the way Conor Benn was gunning for this fight, you'd think it'd be like how Kell Brook was when he fought Golovkin, just go up to middleweight and fight.
I'm not sure what the genuine beef is with Conor Benn and Chris Eubank. I know they've got the history, like I mentioned, the father's name. Chris Eubank seems quite chilled and quite happy and smiley, but every time Conor Benn comes into close proximity with Chris Eubank Jr., he turns into a roadman killer, doesn't he? He's got serious beef. Every time he gets in his face, he puts it on him. Says he don't like him, he even hates him. He wants to smash his head in. I'm like, is this just selling the fight or is this genuine need? And if it is genuine need, what's it for? Is it why you got so much beef? Is it just because of the family name? Conor Benn could do with winning this because he's 28 years old and moving forward, he's got a potential bright future ahead of him. Chris Eubank Jr. wins this fight. I'm not sure what doors it opens for him or where it takes him at 35 years old because in my opinion, at this age of your boxing career, then you've only got 2 or 3 years left, especially at this weight.
It's a special time for myself as a fan in this fight, yeah, for sure.
If you're Conor Benn, what does he have to do to go up 2 weight classes and beat Eubank?
Well, listen, look, fights are won and lost on the scales most of the time. You get me? Not most of the time, but fights are won and lost on the scales. Unless you're in the camp and you're around the camp, it's difficult to make judgments. But listen, Ben's got the ferocity and he's got the art and the ferocity and art and all of that. He's got and he has looked good. He has looked good of late. When he was active. What's his name? The other guy, Eubanks. For me, he's been a little bit inactive, but he's an hard fucker and all. I'll tell you what. When his old man sent him out to New York, I forget who he was with now.
Was a fantastic fighter, is a fantastic fighter, but he's too heavy. Okay, he is a 168-pound fighter. For him to get down to 160 now is too much for him. So Conor would be fighting someone who has lost his punch resistance, which was proven with this Mr. Smith. Again, I don't talk against my son. I'm there to protect him because I know how dangerous this young man is in Conor Benn. I know how dangerous he is. 147 fights, 147. Leave Junior alone.
Won't get the better of Eubank?
I think Conor Benn beats Eubank, but I kind of need Eubank to win. Do you know what I mean? For myself, from a selfish perspective, I need him to win.
Did you want to fight him?
Yeah, exactly.
Would it be the first defence if you win that, or when you win that WBC title? Is that someone that you would choose?
100%, 100%. As long as obviously everyone's okay with it, it'd be that. I mean, why not? It'd be the biggest fight for me next in boxing, and I haven't got long left in the 160-pound division, so it's not me going on about taking certain defences. It's all about just fighting the big fight.
Sure. And it lines up because obviously. Your Feb 22, we don't know the exact date, but April 26 is being touted. So if Chris Eubank does win, maybe it does work out as a summer fight.
Yep.
It's a stadium, isn't it?
Yeah, it could be. It could be for sure. And I mean, these hopefully at the Emirates. Do you know what I mean? That'd be a massive dream of mine.
Not White Hart Lane, no.
Nah.
It's gonna be hard for him to beat Chris Eubank because Chris Eubank is first bigger, he's faster, he hits harder. He's had more experience in really big fights. I don't see how you're going to beat Chris Eubank Jr.
Ferocity and art and all of that. He's got, and he has looked good. He has looked good of late. When he was, when he was active. What's his name? The other guy, Eubanks. For me, he's been a little bit inactive, but he's an hard fucker and all. I tell you what, when his old man sent him out to New York, I forget who he was with now. But he was out in New York, his old man's conditioned him. His old man. I like the job that both their fathers have done on their kids. I like Eubank, the way he talks. I'm probably going to piss a lot of people off here now, but I like him. I can't say I dislike him. And Ben, and he reminds me of his old man. You know what I mean? He reminds me of his old man. So yeah, great fight, great fight. I'm looking forward to it.
And then just circling back to your gym, what's the latest with everyone else, the likes of John Hedges, Tommy Fletcher, etc.?
Yeah, John Hedges, he's back in the gym. He's looking a lot trimmer now, and I'm hearing there's going to be an announcement.
I haven't got a favourite. I think the bigger man should win, but the bigger man's he's not great himself. When we talk about a good big and beats a good little one, listen, you've got to remember, Eubank's not great. And in his last fight, I thought he looked old. It's the first time I've looked at him and I thought...
in Riyadh, I agree with you. He got...
Gareth, I thought he looked old.
Yeah.
I thought he looked old. Yeah. And if age is catching up on you, and listen, don't forget, his father has always banged on about him sparring heavyweights. When they were working together, he was always talking about he spars heavyweights, he stands there as well. That shortens your lifespan in boxing. That has an effect. And if time has now come onto it, he's 35 years old, he's struggling to make the weight, time comes onto you, you've got again, Ben might not be the biggest, everybody makes that as though he's this huge puncher. He had a portion of his career where he didn't look like a huge puncher. He had a little window where all of a sudden he was a monster.
The highly anticipated fight between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn is scheduled for April 26, 2025, at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London. Titled Fatal Fury, the match reignites the historic Eubank-Benn family rivalry. The event features heavyweight champion Tyson Fury and boxing legend Roy Jones Jr. Eubank Jr. claims a size advantage, as Benn moves up from welterweight. Roy Jones Jr., who previously trained Eubank Jr., highlights his strength, speed, and experience, stating that Chris is bigger, quicker, and has faced tougher opponents, making it difficult for Benn to win. Chris Eubank Sr. disagrees, expressing concern over his son's ability to absorb punches after past knockout defeats. He warns that Benn is a dangerous opponent. British middleweight Hamza Shiraz sees Benn's attacking style as an advantage, believing Eubank Jr. has slowed down. Trainer Mark Tibbs emphasizes the role of weight control, noting that while weight alone does not determine a fight, it plays a significant role. Experienced coach Dave Coldwell questions whether Eubank Jr.'s size will be enough, suggesting that age and years of training with heavier weights may have affected his ability to take punches. If weight becomes an issue, Benn may find an opportunity. Eubank Jr.'s manager dismisses any doubts, maintaining that Chris will dominate the fight due to his size, power, and skill. He also criticizes Eddie Hearn, Benn's promoter, for imposing a rehydration clause to limit Eubank Jr.'s weight gain after the weigh-in. Beyond being a fight, this match revives the famous Eubank-Benn rivalry from the 1990s. Former world champion Carl Froch affirms that the tension between them is genuine and not just for promotion. As the fight approaches, Many wonder whether Eubank Jr.'s size and experience will be too much or if Benn's relentless attacks will cause an upset. Fans around the world eagerly await this exciting showdown on April 26, 2025.